Morning. Today we're going to work on a different kind of basics. We're going to go back to another group of basic techniques. These are things I like to call fight stoppers. They're not complicated, they're very simple. If you put a lot of repetition and time into these, you can really get to where you have some effective functional skills and ability to defend yourself if somebody gets a little bit too close. These are all going to be kind of predicated on you have to go. Situation warrants that you need to go ahead and strike because the situation's getting ugly. For me, I kind of gauge it off on if I'm telling a person to stand back, or I'm sitting here saying, hey, I don't want trouble, and that person encroaches to the point where we make contact, or my hand will touch them, I'm gonna let go. You know, and I'm probably gonna fire one of these fight stoppers right out of the gate. That's something you want to be looking at when you're delivering these techniques. All right, so when you're looking at it in terms of Bob, you know, we can touch. Now, a lot of times, in order for that person, we've got to think about, in order for that person to throw that punch, they have to rotate the shoulder, they have to rotate hips, things have to rotate. If I can stop that rotation in terms of a hand check, or better yet, by hand checking that shoulder, we know that 80 to 90% of people in the world, I don't know, I don't have the exact spec, but it's been said that close to 90% are right-handed. All right, with that being said, usually the common response is to throw that right hand. And if I stop this right hand, I'm going to keep that from coming at me. If nothing else, I'm going to require them to throw their left. And at that point, I'm prepared to defend that left hand punch. All right. So if I can come up, when this thing starts to get up, I'm moving to him as if he was moving to me. As we get to this point where I'm being touched, if I control this right shoulder, I'm going to limit this to a pretty much a one-shot situation. He's not going to be able to fire that shoulder without me knowing it. Okay, and then that leaves nothing but the left shoulder, which he may throw, which is very easy to stop. Okay, so the three techniques we're going to work on, we're going to do them a little bit solo, and then we're going to go ahead and put them on Bob just a little bit. So the very first one is just going to be what I like to call just a bitch slap. It's an open hand cupping ear slap to the head. Okay, you can strike with many areas of your palm. You can strike with the heel of your palm. Fingertips will cause a little bit more of a drastic motion. If you lay these across the eyes, though, that's a very devastating shot. I like to kind of cup my hand in this manner and drop it right across the eardrum, because if you slap that eardrum, this cupping motion will drive air or volume of air into the eardrum, and it can cause, you know, an eardrum to rupture or cause some kind of a break, and that's a bad thing for the opponent. That'll affect his equilibrium. It'll affect his ability to follow up and try and fight you after the initial shot. You got to deliver it hard and you got to deliver it fast. Every one of these, you're going to have to work them. I would recommend, at a minimum, I mean, I throw them 100 reps minimum on Bob every day when I'm working these techniques. You just got to do them. They got to become a part of you that it's so ingrained you just deliver them. You know, because they're simple. They're not hard to come up with, and it's very easy to get your neural pathways built up to where you can deliver these effectively. All right. So the very first one I'm going to think of, as I'm standing here, things get a little bit close, I limit that shoulder. So from maybe a chest touch or whatever, I'm going to limit to the shoulder. Now my hand is already up because I'm like, hey, I don't want trouble. Regardless of what my nonviolent posture may be, if I'm getting a little bit into this position or whatever, and it starts to get up a little bit close and I touch, my hands always need to be up, okay? A rule of thumb is always have your hands higher than the person you're facing. He's got his hands down here, I'm going to have mine at least here. He's got his up a little bit, I'm going to have mine a little bit higher. That way I can get up at the top of those hands. If my hands are below his, I've got a good option of getting hit. I'm giving him a gift he doesn't need. All right. So with my hands being up, I'm going to go ahead and catch that shoulder. So for training purposes, we're just going to go ahead and have our hands up. Work on this stuff. Get with your partners or get with your dummies. I call a training partner a dummy. The person that I'm attacking, you'll hear Tori Uke in Japanese martial arts. I call Uke the dummy. All right. That's something we had in Kajukenbo. I don't know if that was an endearing word or not, but they called me a dummy and made you tough. All right. So with the hands being held up, I touch that shoulder. I'm just going to come up and just slap that ear, and I'm going to rotate as if I'm throwing a cross or a rear hand hook. I'm just going to whap that head, aiming for the ear, trying to cup this motion into the ear. Now I could turn it into a heel palm strike. I could come across and just whip my fingers across his eyes. Any of those will work. But I kind of want to make an ending shot here. I want to probably knock him down, bust his equilibrium up. I don't want him following up. Now again, if I slap across those eyes, he's going to have a hard time following up because he's not going to be able to see. Heel palm shot is going to be maybe not even though it sounds like it's going to be more valuable, I'm going to have to deliver this shot and it's going to have to land perfectly. If all stars and moons align, he's going to go out here, okay? But stars and moons don't always align in Murphy's world. So I'm going to have that hand cupped, slap that ear. Or I'm going to come ripped across the eyeballs. Today we're going to slap the ear, okay? So from this position, I'm here, I touch that shoulder. Now he's limited to a left-hand punch situation. I can control that right shoulder. He tries to throw it, I can stop it just by doing no more than just putting a little bit of leverage on there, not allowing his shoulders to turn. He's not going to be able to come at me, okay? So now I've limited to the left hand. If he does do the left hand, I block it and I slap, okay? If he doesn't do anything, I touch the shoulder, I slap when it's time. For some reason he does throw that left, I just jam it and I slap afterwards, okay? It's not really hard to do. So the motion that we're going to do, monitor, control the shoulder, keep the shoulder from rotating by just touching. Don't worry, you don't have to really force this guy. You can just put a very light sensitivity on him, not to freak him out, but you're in control at that point. All right? Control that shoulder, monitor that shoulder, boom, bitch slapping. Monitor, bitch slap. Okay, just work that a few times. The next one I'm going to work on is a very simple elbow strike. The same thing. About the same range that this bitch slap comes out, that elbow comes. All right? Now with the elbow, I'm not thinking about hitting a forearm smash here. I'm just going to rip across him with this elbow, Muay Thai style. Watch a couple of YouTube videos of Muay Thai fights. There's another system that's really great that I'm trying to think of, and it's escaping me now. It'll come to me before this video's over, hopefully. If not, it is what it is. But Muay Thai, you'll see the elbow, and what they do is, the Thais will call these elbows blades. All right? So they'll whip these blades in. So it's going to be the same thing. When I'm in this position, I monitor that shoulder. As soon as it's time to go, I'm just going to take a short step to allow myself to encroach a little bit more. Sorry, I'm jamming up on the video. I'm going to encroach a little bit more. Once I touch that shoulder, I'm just going to step in just a short bit, rip that elbow across the face. I'm not worried about catching with the forearm. I'm not trying to knock him out by blunt force. I'm trying to rip him wide open, okay? And you're going to ring his bell. He's going to be dizzy as hell. He's going to wake up and realize that his face is bleeding like crazy, and you're going to shock him or scare him probably into cutting and running, all right? If not, you're going to light him up again. Again, this isn't meaning that you won't follow up with, you know, suffix movements after this. You know, if I rip him with that elbow and he's bending over, I'm going to kick him in the face. You know, I'm not going to stop fighting this guy until he's no longer a threat. But I got to remember that when he is no longer a threat, I morally, legally, and ethically got to hit the brakes. Okay, and if that means I knock him on his ass and I take off, that's fine. But I can't continue to beat on this man after he's no longer a threat, or I'm now the threat. You know, now we're not doing self-defense. We're criminals. Okay, we got to know when to draw the line. We got to be able to turn the animal on and off. I will not allow somebody to bully me or pick on me, but I'm also not going to turn myself into a criminal just because I know how to defend myself. All right, so in the same motion that we did the bitch slap, we're going to roll up here, we're going to stop that shoulder, check that shoulder. If for some reason I got to jam it, he throws that left hand, I reply, and I rip, okay? If I touch the shoulder and it's time to go, I rip. Okay, it's not a real big motion. All I got to do is keep that shoulder from rotating to where you can't throw the right hand. If you can't throw the right hand, it's time for me to throw my right elbow. If he throws his left hand, because that's really the only option he's going to feel he has, he's going to panic and throw that left hand, I jam it and deliver my elbow. All right, real simple. Number one and number two. I monitor that shoulder. It's time to go. Bitch slap. I monitor that shoulder. It's time to go. Elbow strike. Okay, and the very last one we're going to do now is going to be the headbutt. If I'm in here monitoring and it's time to go, I'm just going to come with both hands and get a double ear slap. Once I get that double ear slap, I'm going to control that, drive the crown of my head into his head. Now I'm going to definitely follow up with some other things, but the root motion we're going to do is just a headbutt. So from this motion, I deliver. If I have to jam out here, I jam it, ear slap, headbutt. Okay. If nothing happens, it's time to go. I ear slap, headbutt. Okay, it's pretty simple motions. You really need to work these on something. I mean, it's kind of hard to do on a heavy bag, but you can headbutt a heavy bag too. Just monitor it a little bit. Go ahead and tape a focus mitt onto your bag to give it a little bit of depth away from the bag to simulate a head, and headbutt it. You know, just reach up there, just ear slap that focus mitt, grab it, headbutt it. Right, same thing. Tape it to the side, smack it. If you don't have a bag or you don't have a bob or something like that, buy one. You know, I'm pretty sure if you've got YouTube, you can afford a YouTube subscription. You can afford to go over to the Academy and buy something to smack. Okay? If you have an excuse not to train, sorry, you know, kill this video and go do something else. Go watch a dance channel or something. All right, I'm trying to give information to people who may want to defend themselves. And you got to put a little bit of work into it, and you got to spend a little money sometimes. It is what it is. All right. So bottom line, here we come. We're up there. We touch. Things aren't going good. I'm always going to try and bring this hand up as I fire to defend. And I'm going to pop that ear slap. Throw it like a hook. Don't do this motion with it. Allow it to come right from here as the body's rotating. This just follows in. All right. It's not being this motion here where I'm trying to swing this a mile away. Okay. As I'm in this position, this just rolls around and hits. It just follows. My hand kind of lags my shoulder, and I come and pop it. Okay, same thing happens here. As I'm in, I touch that, my elbow kind of lags my shoulder and follows through. And in the headbutt, I'm just in this position, slap it, clamp it, grab the top of your head, right into his face. Okay, it doesn't matter where. If you're smashing that face, it's only good and better. Can you get a cut on your forehead? Sure you can. Can you get your ass knocked out? Sure you can. Okay, just deliver the technique the way you need to have it done. So technique number 1, control the shoulder, ear slap. Number 2, control the shoulder, elbow strike. Number 3, control the shoulder, ear slap, head grab. All right, let's put them on bob a little bit. So again, what I'm doing is I may touch, get to where I'm touching here, I'm going to control that shoulder. As I control that shoulder, I just let the elbow, just let the palm slap across. In this position, palm slap. Now if I wanted to whip his eyes, or get in this position, just whip across the eyes, that's going to cause a devastating shot. That's going to be something he's going to have a hard time recovering from. It'll probably give you plenty of time to cut and run from that. Okay. So if I'm up in here, I start to check, I monitor that shoulder, I can eye slap. I monitor that shoulder, I can bitch slap. All right. If I happen to be in this position, I may have to go a little bit closer. All I do is I step in. Okay, flip. Okay, come in. Flip the chin. I'm not worried about trying to put this in here. I'm trying to flip the chin. Flip the chin, flip the chin, flip the eye. Try and open them up. Okay. The last one, the headbutt. In this position, I monitor it. I just grab my headbutt. I'm in here, I check it. Headbutt. Check it. Headbutt. Okay. So that's what we're going to deliver you today. I just call these fight stoppers. Sometimes they can be called game changers. I don't care what you call them. And even if these just inspire you to think of some of your own, go ahead and do that. Because if you have training already and you've got some things you like to do, just work on it. But think about doing, you know, in Japanese karate and some of the older systems, you know, it was all about the one shot, one kill. You can't touch them, right? Try and stop them on the very first shot. That's kind of what I'm going to do. I get to the point where things aren't looking good, I want it to be over with. I get to where things aren't looking good, I want it to be over with. I get where things aren't looking good, I want it to be over with. Okay? That's the focus of this video. Train hard, have a great day.